you today?
I'm alright, Nikki. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad at all. So what's been going on for you?
Yeah, so works and I do my grocery shopping every fortnight. And I was going through the checkout and I went up to self-serve with a full trolley. And the girl at self-serve, she was like, "Oh, do you want me to open a checkout for you?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I don't want to put all these through. You haven't got one open." And then they had to call someone, and I'm pretty sure they came from the deli. And she put everything through really, really slowly. And then really slowly. And then sorry, I lost my train of thought. So she put everything through, and then when I went through the actual checkout and paid for everything, I gave her like my everyday rewards card for Woolworths. And as she was packing everything, there was a temporary card in the bagging area, and I was like, I held it up and said, "Look, I found this in the bagging area. Do you want to dispose of it?" And then she scanned it, and I was just like, "But did you miss it? What? Why did you do that?" And then she's like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure it'll still be on yours because that's a temporary card and it won't work." But as it turns out, it went on our card. And what I had to do was I went to the supervisor and I was like, "Look, she scanned it and I'm pretty sure it didn't go on my card because it hasn't got my card number on the receipt." And she's like, "Oh, call this number." She gave me a brochure for the temporary card.
Yeah.
On the brochure, it says SMS 04 to activate your card.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even the right number. And I was just like, what? Like, I'm a uni student. I don't have time to be chasing stuff around because you stuffed up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how they just...
Okay. There's only got a couple of frustrations there. One, the fact that they had to pull somebody from somewhere else in order to be able to look after you. Two, that because of, unfortunately, they were pulled from somewhere else, they were quite angry, quite cranky, just kind of took the card that they needed in order to fulfill your obligations.
Yes.
After all of that, you found out that it wasn't actually the card, and you then had to go through all the rigmarole of talking to the supervisor and then actually having to call a certain number or SMS a certain number in regards to having those points swapped over onto your card. Is that right?
Definitely.
Oh, I can totally understand your frustration there. It's not good, is it?
It's not. And like, the thing is, I go there every fortnight. Well, uni only started a little while ago.
Yeah.
But I go once a fortnight to that shopping centre and they never have a main checkout open. And I'm just like, I can't put through a trolley full of groceries on a self-serve checkout.
So is it a really small
No.
Woolies or anything like that?
They've got, I think, like 8 checkouts.
So is it more the time that you're there that maybe there's less people within the shop, so therefore they're utilising their staff where they need to utilise them, or?
I'm pretty sure that might be it, like to try and cut costs.
But then all it does is just put you in a position of where now your frustrations are here and what's happened because of their lack of ability of being able to provide has now put you in this situation.
Exactly.
Ah.
Like, the issue is, like, the last fortnight, I went up to the service desk. I was like, "Can I have a checkout, please?"
Yes. Yeah.
And then the girl that came to the checkout, she was like crying and she was really frustrated. And then another girl came up and she's like, "Do you want help with anything?" Because they were filling up the drink fridge. And she was like, "Do you want help with anything?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, I need to really finish filling up the drink fridge myself." And the other girl came. And it felt like I was an inconvenience. And I was just like, they really devalued me.
Yeah, that's not good at all. No, not at all. So I can understand how you're feeling then. So you're saying that basically because you were there wanting to actually buy something that you wanted to buy, they then get pulled away and then you feel devalued because then you're asking them to actually do what they need to do and they're making you feel bad because of it.
Yeah.
It's not good, is it? Because theoretically, them being in that service industry, they are there to provide a service for you, not the other way. So I can totally understand how this might make you feel and how frustrated and how angry it means because now you have to go to another extreme where taking out of your time to sort out somebody else's mistake.
Exactly.
Rather than her waiting and have allowed you to actually get the card out that you needed in order to scan for you to get it.
And now I'm thinking I have to go somewhere else because, like, I don't feel like I'm valued. I don't understand where that comes from. I don't feel like I'm valued as a customer, so I need to go to a different Woolworths. Still the same company, but a different Woolworths so that I'll be served properly. Like, rather than expect service, to have to ask for service.
Yeah, well, to me that's, I am there. Okay, so basically what you're saying then is, you feel you need to go somewhere else in order to get your needs met.
Exactly.
Which probably is not fair at all, because theoretically, no matter where you are, being on the other side of the service, they should be fulfilling your needs.
Exactly. It should be fair. I should be able to just go in there, buy the stuff, and chuck it up there, then put it in bags and go home without me having to, like, request help. Help that should always be there. That whole technological age. It's so frustrating.
Because they're getting paid to do their job.
Yeah.
And it's making you feel like you're an inconvenience to yourself and also an inconvenience to them, because it's taking the time out of you where you could be spending doing something else. And they're then putting it onto you because, you're wanting a need from them, which is their job anyway. So, yeah, I can totally understand how frustrating it can be and how that actually makes you feel and how it can make you feel valued.
Yeah.
Because yet again, it's that they're not looking at you as a person. They're not looking at you as they are providing you that service. So I can totally understand. Doesn't sound like it's fair at all. No, and it's not like it's the only thing you have on your plate.
No. Like, I put in a complaint online. That's where I found the number for the rewards card. I was just like I Googled it, Google everything, and that's where I found the number. And I was just like, why was it so hard for her to say this is the number? Like, she doesn't even know the processes of, like, what to do if something happens. She's like, that's not Woolworths' responsibility. That's the rewards company. But it was on the Woolworths website.
Thing is, they should be, by the sounds of things, they're an affiliated company though, so therefore they should be working with one another, not against one another.
Some sort of training.
In the feedback. Okay, yeah. Not good at all. Not good at all. As you said, maybe, they do need to look at the way in which this is actually working for them and what ways it's not working for them and actually fix that problem. Would it be, as you said, just something as simple as training them, so all their staff are up to date, they all know exactly what's going on, or hire maybe staff who actually care about what they are doing and be able to give you the attention which you need.
Yeah. Well, like, even like when I went on the checkout, she was like, "Hi, how are you?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm alright, thank you. How are you?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm pretty good. How are you?" And I was just like, even that communication in the beginning, she wasn't listening. She wasn't even like I know retail is hard. I've worked in retail. I know it's hard. But you need to be at least a little bit switched on because you're dealing with people and people matter.
Yeah. And generally, the customer is right. Is how the policy of most places are. And even when it comes to things like being scanned, if something is scanned incorrectly, they are supposed to basically give you that product free because what they are displaying is actually wrong. So I can tell. Did you also put in a complaint not only to the rewards card, but also to Woolworths?
Yes.
Okay. Well, he's hoping then something actually gets sorted about this, and they're able to actually manage their staff a lot better, give them the training that they need in order to provide the actual proper service. Yeah. Totally frustrating at all. Totally.
It's got so much time, and it shouldn't have that much time. I don't have that sort of time.
No. Because you have a child as well, don't you?
Yeah.
So therefore, rather than spending your time trying to sort out these issues, you need to give your attention to something else. Because this is something that's quite minor on their part that could have been fixed and ended up being quite major on your part.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you have to skip through hoops and jump through this in order to actually get what you wanted in the first place, which could have been easily solved by them waiting for you to actually produce your card so that it could have been put on there. And not only that, but maybe then they could have provided you with that service of actually having people on the checkouts rather than you having to go through that self-service.
Exactly. Why? Why aren't there people there? I I like people.
Yeah, I know. Exceptionally frustrating. Exceptionally. I can see why. You're quite angry in that whole situation. Not good at all. So has there been anything else going on? Was that your major kind of, stuff that kind of went on and made you really, really frustrated? And was anything else happening at the time that kind of put you in that situation that you felt you had to kind of go through the checkout, other than there was, really no others open, but were you in a rush? Was it something that you need to get out of there really quickly, or?
Well, it was more that my daughter slept in. Well, no, she didn't sleep in. The prior night, she had to go to sleep and took 3 hours for her to fall asleep. She was screaming and she's really struggling with transitions at the moment.
Okay.
And I was in a high stress state anyway, and I didn't have much sleep. And then that morning, I had to make sure that she felt safe, secure, and connected.
Yeah.
And had an hour of cuddles to help her feel centered and secure. And then because of that, I then dropped her off at daycare later than normal. I didn't have as much time before coming to uni to get everything done. And that made me even more stressed.
Yeah. Okay.
And then that time restriction, and then them treating me like, I'm not going to have that service available that should be, really put everything on top of my plate.
Yeah, okay, So basically what you're saying is you didn't begin with having a wonderful day anyway, because you had to put a little bit more time into your daughter, where she was herself emotionally that morning, and therefore that already held you back. Then you were faced with another dilemma, and then on top of that, then another dilemma, and it kind of just got you to that boiling top where things were just not working. Even though it was something simple that probably could have been solved, it really pushed your buttons to that point where, it just pushed you over that edge.
And I don't normally complain about anything. And I was like, I'm complaining about this because it's not okay.
No, you obviously, it sounds like you just did not need that at the end of your day after the day that you'd already had. Yeah, I totally understand how.
It was the beginning of the day. It was just like, how's this even end? It actually ended pretty well though.
Good. I'm glad you ended up with some clarification out of that. You ended up well, and you're actually able to get on top of it and hopefully solve something. And I'm hoping that you'll actually be able to hear something back from them and they'll be able to rectify this problem for you.
Oh, me too. I'm not going to hold my breath, but yeah.
Wow, your bing didn't go bing. We're 12 minutes.
I didn't set it.
Oh, didn't we? Well, that was one.